What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Chuds BBQ. My name is Bradley Robinson, and today I'm going to show you how I made these. Beautiful, delicious, smoky, porky, deep fried, amazing, smoky, deep fried Boudin balls. Coming up. This is a pork butt. Pat it dry. And what I got here is just your typical go-to bone-in pork butt from the grocery store. Nothing too fancy here. Haven't cooked a pork butt in quite a while, so I'm kind of excited about it. But as always, really not much to do on these. If there's anything weird hanging off, you can trim it, or you can just do nothing. Some people like to take down that fat cap a bit. I don't. Well, there's a weird little piece of cartilage right there. And if I don't take it off now, I'm just gonna have to fish it out of the pulled pork later. But other than that, really nothing to do, except get this thing seasoned up, which today is gonna be with some good old-fashioned SPG, salt, pepper, garlic, which you can indeed get on the website if you feel so inclined. And when doing a pulled pork like this, you can go on with whatever flavors you want. You really don't even need to add rub at all, because this is going to be Boudin at the end of the day, so we're going to be tasting it and adjusting it for seasoning then. But it's always a good idea to start building those layers of flavor. Also, all this black pepper will help create a nice juicy bark. So I'm just going to get this covered all over, top and bottom, and of course, we're not going to forget the sides. That would be a rookie move. Get it all up. You know the drill, folks. Making a pork butt, probably the easiest cook in the barbecue world. And that is looking pretty much perfect to me. Let's fire up the pit. And on the pit we go. Is that an old keychain? Whoops, forgot that one. It's about keychains on the website, by the way. Maybe. But on the pit we go. Not gonna pay too much attention to this cook because we're gonna be turning this into Boudin, so texture isn't really that important as if I was making a pulled pork sandwich or something like that. So I'm likely gonna rock a pretty hot and fast cook on this bad boy so I don't have to baby this fire all damn day. So I'm probably gonna rock right around 300 degrees, get a nice post-oak fire in there, get it nice and smoky, nice and barky, run into that fat, and wait till it comes up to temp. We're about 6.5 hours into this cook. Been very uneventful, you know, just been maintaining temps right around 300 degrees. Haven't really had any swings or anything. Very pleasant. Gotta love a good pork butt cook. And as you can see, we've got some really nice fat render going on. Beautiful bark, smelling great. Reading right around 180 degrees internal. So now we're gonna give it the old foil boat. Beautiful. And the pork butt really is the perfect cut for the foil boat, you know? Big old fat cap on there. We want to keep that rendering down and getting nice and pillowy and continue to build this bark. But all the other sides are covered, so this thing should get really nice and tender and cook a lot faster. So back on the pit we go, probably for another hour or two. And just like that, after 9 hours of total cook time, this pork butt is looking absolutely beautiful and coming off the pit. Beautiful bark on there, feeling nice and tender, nicely rendered, smelling very good. Collected a whole bunch of juice in there, which will come in handy down the road and also keep this thing nice and tender and nice and juicy. But it's probably internal right around 200 to 205 degrees, feeling extremely tender. Just boop, boop. So now I'm gonna do an overnight heated rest. And an overnight heated rest is definitely not necessary with a pork butt if you're making pulled pork. It's not gonna hurt it at all. In fact, it'll probably get more tender overnight. And you could also just chill this down and reheat it when you're ready to make Boudin, but I'm gonna make this thing tomorrow. And we still got plenty of work to do to make that, and it's already midnight. So, into my toaster oven this goes at 150 degrees overnight, and we'll pick this back up tomorrow. All right, we got this Chud box fired up, and we're gonna start cooking off our chicken livers. I know, not the most attractive thing in the world. And traditionally in Boudin, pork liver is used, but pork liver is pretty gnarly stuff. Also, I could only find the frozen kind, and I think it's better used when it's fresh in a traditional boucherie. And I really like the flavor of chicken livers, you know? And if you think that you don't, you probably haven't tried them yet, but they've got a really nice flavor to it, and you gotta have some liver in your Boudin, folks. So I'm just gonna cook these through, get a little smoky flavor on them, and it shouldn't take too long. Next up, gonna melt some butter down in this pan. Ooh, And once nice and boobly, we're gonna go in with our jalapeno, bell pepper, and onion. Jalapeno. I also got the whites from the green onion in there. Now we're just gonna cook this down for a little bit until these get nice and softened. Good Lord, folks. Almost forgot the celery, but all the Cajun people were freaking out. But it's not too late. And in we go. All right, heat back on, and now we're gonna cook this till it's nice and softened. Looking good, nice and soft, smelling great, except for those jalapenos that keep making me cough. Got a little bit of color on there, which I'm fine with. So now it's time to go in with this big pile of garlic. I like a lot of garlic. And just get this cooked down for a couple minutes. Ooh, it smells so good. Beautiful, smelling great. I'm gonna set this aside to cool down a little bit. And just like that, off the pit come our chicken livers. These are super tasty, folks. Please don't fight me about it. They're really good. I've been nibbling on them, but I'm gonna give these a rough chop. Beautiful. All right, y'all, let's see how this pulled pork came out. Looking beautiful, nice and smoky, still nice and toasty. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pop it into this vessel here. Oh my God, I can barely pick this up. Yeah, this got super tender. Woo! Now all we gotta do is pull the bones out, nice and clean, and start shredding. Oh yeah. Oh, that is so tender and juicy. Look at that meat. I mean, come on, folks. Get this fat cap distributed, get a little bit of bark in every bite. You know the drill. And there we have it, some absolutely beautiful, smoky pulled pork. Oh my God, that's so good. Even by itself, that's amazing. Normally I'd add a sauce or something, but if you get a little piece of that bark too. It's been a while since I made a pulled pork. Damn, that is good. I guess now all I need to figure out is how much boudin am I actually gonna make right now? And one of the tricky parts about boudin, or at least teaching people how to make boudin, is I don't actually have a recipe for it. It's really one of those cook with your feelings kind of dishes, you know? How much rice you add is completely up to you, whether you want a 50-50 rice to meat or heavier rice. How much veg you got in there, the salt level, the seasoning, the amount of spice, really all up to you. But the best part about boudin is you can taste it as you go. So you can really just dial it into whatever you like. But I think I'm gonna make this entire thing into a big batch of boudin because I love having boudin on hand. Freezes really well. All my friends really like it. So now I guess we gotta just add some rice. This is 3 cups of rice. Woo! Just cook that in my rice cooker, throw a little Tony Chachere's in there to season it up. And I'm gonna let that cool down for a minute before I get in there with my little hands. But we're also gonna go in with our chopped chicken liver. This is 1 pound of liver to probably 5 pounds of meat. And we'll go in with all of our veg as well. Ooh, yeah. Oh, that's very hot. I should also mention that this is kind of a barbecue boudin. Traditionally, a boudin is a pork butt or pork scraps that you boil with the vegetables down for a long time till it becomes nice and shreddy. But I just don't have it in me to boil a piece of meat when I've got all these smokers around. And we end up with shredded meat at the end of the day anyway, plus the added benefit of some smoky flavor. And this works with all sorts of cuts. It is a pork sausage, traditionally speaking. I've done it with brisket though, that's really good. But really, whatever you want to do. This is really starting to look like boudin now. But it's a little dry because of all that rice. So I'm gonna go in with all these juices from the foil boat here. And there's quite a bit. Oops, oh no. Get that all nice and mixed up. Next up, we gotta get this seasoned up. And normally I'd go for some Tony Chachere's or some sort of Creole or Cajun seasoning here. You could also just go with some salt, pepper, cayenne, really dial it into your specific flavor profile. But today, I'm gonna bust out some good old fashioned Chuds BBQ Snake Bite Spicy Rub because that sounds really good to me. And a nice heavy coating in there. Because remember, we got all that rice that still needs a bunch of seasoning. That veg doesn't have any seasoning on it. And this is where you really taste it and adjust. We're also gonna go in with our fresh green onions. Yup. I love making boudin. Smells so good. Another layer of seasoning. Oops. At this point, this stuff is looking really good. Really nice mixture on there. Starting to tack up, but it's still a little crumbly and a little bit dry. So I'm gonna go on with some homemade pork stock that I made, just to add a little bit more moisture. And there we go, our boudin is officially done. This is a consistency we're looking for, because we're making boudin balls, but also in general. Holds together, doesn't fall apart, looking beautiful. Tasting great, nice amount of kick to that. That veg is coming through nice and porky. So now I'm gonna case some of this up. Beep. Going on with some 32 mil hog casings, natural hog casings that is. And I know I said we're making boudin balls, which we are, but I made so much boudin, I figure I might as well case some up, keep them in the freezer. We'll make boudin balls in a minute. Tie it off, snip the tip, and we case away. Oh, what a bad noise. Yep, just as weird as last time. Casing hot rice-filled mixture. Very awkward feeling. And popped it immediately. Nice. Oh, just making some standard size links today. And just like that, all cased up, looking absolutely beautiful. Love when a boudin comes together. I'm gonna pop these in the fridge. All right, let's make some balls. Got myself a little scooper here, got the rest of the boudin in y'all, and we'll see what size we're working with. Looks pretty good to me. Now we repeat. And boudin really is worth making because if you don't have a sausage stuffer, this is a great intro because you can just make deep fried boudin balls or throw it into a meat pie, just eat it with a fork. Plenty of good boudin recipes out there, folks. While we get these balls dredged, I'm gonna go ahead and smoke off a couple of these links because, well, I made them and I wanna try it. Throw a little chunk of wood in there. I had these balls in the fridge for a little bit just to firm up, make them a little easier to work with. And now we're gonna hit them with a classic 3-part dredge, starting with some all-purpose flour. Then I'm gonna throw a little Tony C's in there, just for another layer of flavor. Throw some in the panko as well, and we got some eggs in the middle. Ooh. And now we're gonna roll these in the flour, right into the egg wash, full coatage, and then pop those right into the panko. And there we go, nicely breaded boudin ball. Nothing to it, and now we repeat. Gotta say these are super easy to work with when they're chilled down. Hold together great, no risk of them falling apart at all. And at this point, I wish I had made some different sizes, just to compare and contrast a tiny one versus a gigantic one, but I think this medium-sized ball will work out great. And now we're just gonna fry them off. Got this fryer fired up to about 350, maybe 375. And we're just gonna cook them until they are nice and golden brown and warm all the way through. Shouldn't take long. And there we go, beautiful looking boudin balls. I must say, I'm really happy with how these are looking. And that only took like 2 minutes. And there we have them in all their glory, folks. Some beautiful links of boudin and some deep fried boudin balls served with some spicy mustard and some sweet pickles. And ooh, I'm ready to dive on in. Gotta say, folks, I'm pretty excited about this one. I haven't had a boudin ball in a long time. I think I've only actually had it once on my way to New Orleans, but I know it's gonna be good because I already tasted the boudin when I was making it, but having it in warm, deep fried form, it's hot. That was so good. It's just so meaty, so porky, and the texture is just phenomenal. You know, you got that super tender, shreddy pulled pork mixed with that rice, which is also really soft. You got those veggies in there. It's got a good amount of kick to it. Definitely got some smokiness to it. And that panko crust on the outside is a welcome addition. I mean, just look at that. That is a bite of pure happiness right there. Very good. A little mustard dip, shall we? Oh yeah. Wow, that is a phenomenal bite of food right there. The dog is going crazy right now. You'll get yours in a minute, bud. Really good batch of boudin. This one plumped up super well, nice and smoky. And really, you're just cooking this to get that skin crispy. And the Chud box does it really well, but this is also feeling really hot. So we're gonna give it a minute. Even smokier. That is good. That is good. So meaty. That's really great too. Although it's hard to beat the deep fried. Don't mind if I do. I don't know why I waited so long to make these. That's phenomenal. It really does go great with that mustard and these sweet pickles. These really are a perfect food to bring to a party, bring to a football game, or just serve as appetizers or something, you know? I bet you these would freeze and then reheat in an oven incredibly well. These have already been sitting out for a while now, and they are still just looking perfect. Love it. Definitely worth making, folks. Perfect intro to making sausage as well. They're so good.
Boudin, 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 boudin.
Oh. Ladies, would you like to try some boudin balls? And we also got some traditional sausages here.
Yeah, I'm going
Yes,
balls.
I'm trying all. Boudin is my favorite everything.
Glad that you gave us some vegetables on the side.
This is the most vegetable-filled sausage I've ever made.
Dude. Wow, it's so good.
It's so satisfying.
This one's smokier than the beef. I love it. The crisp is perfect.
The crisp is
panko.
perfect. Yes, you did.
Gotta use that panko. I was thinking about using porco, or whatever they call it, where it's like cheat your own dust.
Oh, that sounds
Oh,
interesting.
okay. Yeah, it's good with the mustard too.
And then the sweet pickle to cool down all that heat. Although they're not too spicy. What's the heat level on these?
They're really. I would not say these are
Perfect.
spicy.
I had a cousin that couldn't eat pepper.
We don't speak to him anymore.
He also ate sticks of butter.
Interesting.
Okay, I'm about to test. Do I like the boudin butter, the boudin ball?
The real,
Boudin ween.
the real deal smoked boudin. Take a big snappy. Oh, there it goes.
Ooh, yeah.
If you steam them, like a lot of places do down there, it's what's that lovely phrase they like to use? Sucking meat out of a condom.
Yeah,
But
like that.
if it's smoked and cased properly and
like
cooked properly, it's nice and snappy. So
Yeah.
I still think it's a very underrated sausage, you know. They eat it for breakfast down there.
It's my favorite sausage in the world.
It's a perfect texture. It's like a pate with rice and veggies.
You really fried them perfectly.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
thank
good.
you.
Yeah.
And I like the panko because I've had some Boudin balls and it's just like
Perfect crust.
How many of these balls could you eat in one sitting if you had to?
4, and I'd hurt, but
Yeah, I
again,
think-
I'd go back for more later.
Well, Lauren, you'll be happy to know that I made an alarming amount of Boudin, and it's already vac sealed up and ready for your freezer. So, but before we go, I think it's time for the official taste test.
And then
All right, y'all, let's get that to make some absolutely fantastic, smoky, porky Boudin balls. I highly recommend giving this recipe a try. That's probably my best Boudin yet. And the fact that you can make sausage and Boudin balls out of the same farce is pretty convenient. It makes for a lot of tasty food. But all that being said, if you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting that subscribe button. Let YouTube know by dropping a like on this video. If you do give this recipe a try for yourself, be sure to tag me on Instagram at Chuds BBQ. I'd love to see what y'all are cooking. Big shout out to all the Patreon members. Thank you for supporting Team Chud and allowing me to keep making all these videos. And until the next time I see you, please go cook something outside. Peace.